apologies to Eric. There is a change in the two poems. The first poem will be by Phyllis McGinley, and in celebration of our New York. Phyllis McGinley was born in Oregon in 1905, moved to New York in 1929, was the winner of a Pulitzer Prize in 1961, and died in 1978. Moscow is red, Pittsburgh is gritty. I know a nicer kind of a city. It's on the Hudson, not the Rhine. Manhattan be my Valentine. Tumultuous town, absurd and thunderful. I think you're wonderful. Sleeping or waking, frivolous or stable. Down at the heel or opulent and sable. I like your voices, single and together. I even like your weather. Your rains, your wind that down the river blows, your heat, your fogs, your perishable snows. I like your pomp and ceremony. I like you real. I love you when you're phony. In other words, no matter where I get about, you're what I'm mad about. Then stay with me and be my dear, accept this honest flattery, and I will sing your praises clear from Harlem to the Battery. I sing the Empire State that magnets dwell in. I sing 6th Avenue without the L in. And Dragon Square and Screaming Boulevard and Mr. Morgan's elegant backyard. I sing St. Thomas's, which sponsors marriages. With dogs on leashes and with tots and carriages, I sing your parks, equipped with lads and wenches, and men on wooden benches. I sing the penthouse, harboring your elite, and 4-flight walk-ups on Barrow Street. Your native cops, more virile than the Bobby, and Powers Models, and the Astor Lobby. I sing your automats, your gentle tea rooms, wary of a scallion. The colony where when the reasonable hats, and tabled excessively Italian, and ferry boats, and boogie-woogie bands, and needed orange stands. Metropolis, aloud I praise your febrile nights, your clamorous days. Not even the sales tax, trying hard, can cut into my regard. Be mine, shop, subway, danceterium, picket line, the planetarium replete with stars, buses and banks and debutante bazaars, and traffic lights reflected when it rains at all the pavements, and the skiing trains. Orchids by Schling, and men in areaways selling bouquets, eating their lunches at soda stands or dairies. Progressive schools that cope with Freudian symbols, and monasteries selling cheap gimbals, jaywalkers and St. Patrick's Day parades, and part-time maids, and art museums where I take my aunts, and Mott Street and ballroom renaissance where the brasses that the dancers spin to, and El Morocco, which I've never been to, and kitchenettes and pubs and Kansas clubs, the elms in Radio City spreading tall, foghorns and pigeons, and yes, Tammany Hall. Let others finding flaw or pointing fault accept you with their gracious, cautious grains of salt. Egregious city facing toward the sea, abide with me. Boston's well-bred and Philadelphia's blue. Borough of Manhattan, I love you. This is the Hungarian woman on Ellis Island, 1907. Rumbled from steerage, she wears an embroidered blouse of 17 petticoats whose hems hide money, documents, and even love letters. Renewal is the private fortune she brings, learned partly in steerage's carnival filth, where 500 sailed for weeks in one shuddering, bolting room, seasick all the way, on soup and stale biscuits, gagging on bed air, tobacco, fruit rinds, garlic, and sweat, sleeping on cork life preservers, but mainly awake for rats and the rhythmic clatter of metal railings and hawsers. She half expected to find a golden turnstile ahead, or two gigantic gates spread open in embrace. Not an island fortress floating in the mist of Manhattan, whose skyline she mistook for a mountain range. Clean-shaven American men herded her through mazes and exams, at one low lifting her eyelids with button hooks, and another feeding her ladles full of prunes. When they chopped her name, it was a kind of circumcision. What else had she left but her only heirloom drenched about? Green fell from the clouds, and she slipped it on, because America was her open sesame to a world honeyed with drama, full of dreamers and risk-takers. And Ellis Island was the eye of a needle through which she wished to pass the camel of her hope. In this photograph, posed with stoic candor outside the main hall, where all wait for the ferry ride through slick waters, she holds her bundles and her child as if balancing separate thoughts. Dark as horse chestnuts, her eyes seem to shout. She does not know that she will give birth to poets and farmers, astronauts, sales corps, tamers of cities. All that was a distant haze in 1907. When the photographer finishes, she looks at the mint green saint in the harbor and vows that its long gesture from earth to sky will be the path she blazes, her torch to time